In 1971, at the Friars music venue right here in Aylesbury, a legend was created. David Bowie, quite aware that music was becoming more about character and rock opera as opposed to just the songs, unveiled his most famous creation on the world for the first time. And Ziggy played guitar. Hey everybody, Matt and
Danielle.
Back with you. Hope you're okay and welcome to the Dark Side of the Moor. Well, today we are in Aylesbury, kind of in the Buckinghamshire area. Aylesbury is a lovely, little town, and back in the 1970s, big things were happening here in the music world. And this is the location where David Bowie unveiled for the first time Ziggy Stardust at the Friars music venue. In fact, three things happened. There was one concert he did here where backstage they formed the Spiders from Mars. Then the next time he started to kind of do a concert where he appears as Ziggy Stardust for the first time, and then mid-1972 another concert where he is fully Ziggy and he invites the press and everybody along, and Ziggy Stardust is born. Now, if you've listened to this going, I have no idea what he's on about. Ziggy Stardust is one of David Bowie's musical creations, and that was what he was famous for. Every so often he would change his character. It could be the Thin White Duke or something like that. But no, the very first one was Ziggy Stardust, an androgynous, bisexual alien. Sounds like our kind of guy. But there are little bits here in Aylesbury Centre, just as tributes and memories of that time. I'm going to tell you about it, and we'll see if we can find a sculpture that was unveiled here about 8 years ago. Before the world knew Ziggy Stardust, before the lightning bolt, before the sold-out stadiums and global fame, David Bowie was still searching, not just for a sound, but for an identity. And one small town in Buckinghamshire, Aylesbury, would become one of the unlikely places where that identity began to take shape. Bowie was in a difficult position professionally. He was in his mid-20s, had been making records for years, and despite these flashes of brilliance, he wasn't a major star. Bowie had had his first hit with the song Space Oddity in 1969, released around the time of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Despite its success, the song had not made him a huge star, and his next album, The Man Who Sold the World, received critical attention, but sold poorly. Around this time, he'd been experimenting with hard rock and folk music. He was interested in science fiction, theatre, mime and performance art. He was also working with guitarist Mick Ronson, who would become crucial to Bowie's early success. 1971 saw the release of Hunky, Dory. Today it's considered a classic, featuring songs like Life on Mars, Changes and Oh You Pretty Things, but initially it wasn't a huge commercial success. With this album, Bowie said that he'd finally found his songwriting voice, but still lacked a strong public identity. He realised that at this time, audiences often connected as much with a performer's image as with their music, and he wanted to create something bigger than a singer, a complete character. In Aylesbury, something unusual was happening. A small but ambitious music club known as Friars at the Borough Assembly Hall was bringing major touring acts into the town. It wasn't London, it wasn't Manchester, but it had something more important, an audience that was listening. Friars was quickly becoming known for bold booking, bands on the edge of breaking through, and artists willing to experiment. And in 1971, David Bowie appeared. He was still performing material that would appear on Hunky, Dory, and testing songs in front of a live audience. He performed with Mick Ronson. Bowie still looked relatively natural compared with what became the Ziggy image. Had longish blonde hair, not the famous red Ziggy mullet. The songs were piano-driven, reflective and personal. He was writing about identity, fame, art and change, but not yet performing as the fictional alien rock star. So the Borough Assembly Hall where the concerts took place no longer exists. However, Friars music venue apparently does, but somewhere else. And essentially it was pretty much in the area where we are now. And the Green Man pub, or what was the Green Man pub, it's now closed behind us. If you can see the entranceway just there, that kind of passageway, that passageway is apparently the original passageway of the Borough Assembly Hall. So they must have somehow incorporated it into that structure there. If it is that, I apologise if it's not, that's the information I've got. That does look like it's been there a much longer time. However, there is a plaque on it, but not for David Bowie. It's for somebody else whose career started here many decades before, in the 1940s. Ronnie Barker. Who knew? Aylesbury has some very big names beginning their careers right here. January 1972, and Bowie returns to Friars in Aylesbury, but this time something has changed. The idea of Ziggy Stardust is beginning to take form. The songs are sharper, the performance more theatrical, the persona more alien. This is the crucial turning point. Aylesbury is not just hosting a concert anymore, it's witnessing an evolution. A prototype of Ziggy Stardust appears on stage before the world has even learned the name. Ziggy seemed to combine elements from Iggy Pop, Mark Bolan in the glam rock era, science fiction novels, Japanese fashion and theatre, and rock stars as mythic figures. Ziggy Stardust was a fictional, bisexual alien rock star, a messenger, a glamorous outsider, a character who arrived on Earth as the world faced destruction. Ziggy allowed Bowie to become more than a musician. He became a storyteller, an actor, a living work of art, and the line between performer and character began to disappear. A concert in Aylesbury in January 1972 is widely regarded as the first full Ziggy Stardust performance. The audience packed into the Borough Assembly Hall had little idea they were witnessing history. Bowie performed songs from the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust, which included the song 5 Years, which is the opening track on the album, which features the line "moving through the market square," which is said to reference the Aylesbury Market Square. He also performed Moonage Daydream, Rock and Roll Suicide, and Starman, songs that would soon define an era. Future members of Queen, Freddie Mercury and Roger Taylor, were reportedly amongst those in attendance. The performance wasn't perfect, technical problems interrupted part of the show, but none of that mattered for the audience in Aylesbury. Something entirely new had arrived, and Aylesbury had seen Ziggy Stardust before anyone else. Only a few months later, everything changed. In July 1972, Bowie appeared on Top of the Pops performing Starman. Millions watched. For many viewers, it felt like the future had landed in their living room. And suddenly, Bowie was everywhere. But there was one more visit to make, one more return to Aylesbury. And on the 15th of July 1972, David Bowie returned to the Friars. This would become one of the most famous concerts in the venue's history, because by now Bowie was no longer an emerging artist, he was becoming a phenomenon. American journalists were flown in to witness the event, record executives attended, music writers attended. The industry wanted to understand what was happening, but the answer stood on stage. Bright hair, theatrical costumes, a futuristic vision of rock music. The momentum was unstoppable, and Aylesbury had helped launch Ziggy Stardust into the world. Okay, so fan of David Bowie?
A little bit.
A little bit. Both are. Both are. I think I've kind of based myself off David Bowie. A lot of my outfits. But yeah, any favourite era or song or
Golden Years.
Golden Years as a song? Yeah, that is a good song. Mine personally is just after Ziggy actually. Oh, sorry, it's got windy. Hope you can still hear us. 1974 Diamond Dogs album is my favourite. It's one of those rare albums where every song just hits for me. It's brilliant. But yeah, that was just after Ziggy Stardust. However, Hunky Dory, 1971, I think that was out. Also, every song is great, but Diamond Dog nails it just for me. But yeah, favourite era of Bowie? I'm an 80s kid, so I like the 80s. He didn't like these 80s stuff. Many people didn't like his 80s stuff. There's something about Time Will Crawl from 1987. I just love it. I love it. So, plus of course, Jared, a Goblin King. To think of it, you remind me of the Bay with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo. You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the Bay. Alright. Okay, so this is the Earthly Messenger statue. This was put here in 2018. It was the first official statue for David Bowie. And obviously celebrating Ziggy Stardust being born right here in Aylesbury. But there's not just Ziggy here, is there? David Bowie, I would say, is probably early 2000s stage. And then just at this side, we have many, many different incarnations of David Bowie. Some more obvious than not. We obviously have Black Star David Bowie. We obviously have a Goblin King David Bowie. Man Fell to Earth is here. Ashes to Ashes version. Yeah, many, many different ones. Definitely. I think so. So apparently, every hour from those speakers above, can't see them, they're there, trust me. Yeah, one steady. Where are we going?
So look at the
Smash.
speaker.
Okay, thanks. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. So the speakers play a David Bowie song once every hour. We're going to try and come back at 12 and see which one plays. If it still does, it may not anymore, I suppose. But I'm going to guess it's one of the tracks on here. Which one do you think it is? If it is.
Gene Genie.
Gene Genie? Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go for Let's Spend the Night Together.
I knew you were going to pick that one.
Can't believe it's the dark side of the moon. Right. If it still works.
Because it's 59, so.
Is it? It's actually none of those. It's none of those. I think it's either Laughing Gnome or Love You Till Tuesday, which is way before. Way down. Look at it's outside. Little me is waiting. It's Love You Till Tuesday, way before. This is 1960s Bowie. That's crazy. Oh well, none of those. Love You Till Tuesday. Thank God it's not Laughing Gnome. After Aylesbury, Bowie conquered the world. The Ziggy Stardust album became one of the defining records of the 20th century, and then, just as suddenly as Ziggy had appeared, Bowie ended the character in 1973. But Bowie continued reinventing himself throughout his career. Aladdin Sane, The Thin White Duke, each era different, each era influential. Yet for many fans, the Ziggy years remain the most magical, and those years began in Aylesbury. This is where Hunky Dory was first unveiled, where the spiders from Mars came together, where Ziggy Stardust first stepped into the spotlight. Aylesbury may be a market town, but for Bowie fans around the world, it is sacred ground. Aylesbury witnessed history. David Bowie would probably still have been remarkable, but it was here that his new identity emerged, here that an artist became a legend, and here that Ziggy Stardust was born. Okay, there we go. That is the beginnings of David Bowie and the start of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Nice little place. Lovely. Aylesbury, yeah. Yeah, still don't know why they played that song, but never mind. There were probably about 1,000 others they could have chosen, but we got Love You Till Tuesday. Alright, see you very soon for the next video, if you can see me at all.